What do you do when your prayers aren't working? You ever felt like that? Like you pray and God doesn't hear you? Or you keep praying about the same thing over and over again and the words just bounce off the ceiling and come back to you? You keep praying but nothing happens. Feel like your prayers don't work. This is something I hear quite often, and people ask me all the time, what do I do when my prayers don't work? Well, if you follow the Facebook faith or the Twitter theology, there's a thing that floats around quite often, and some people swear by it, and it's the push prayer method. And the push prayer method means you pray until something happens. And I get it. That's a good encouragement to be persistent in prayer and to keep praying and just offer God opportunities to answer your prayers. But the idea behind it, the connotation behind it is that if you pray hard enough and right enough and with the right kind of faith, and maybe if you pray in the right places and pray with the right people and figure out the right words to use, that eventually you can manipulate God or twist his arm and convince him to say yes to whatever it is you're praying for. That's really what we mean when we say, why aren't my prayers working? Well, we're praying for something we want or think we need, and God is not saying yes. And so we identify an answer that's not yes with, well, my prayers aren't working because this is what I want, and I still don't have what I want. I would like to suggest that that's not really what prayer is. Prayer is not the language we use to treat God like a vending machine to get the things we want out of life. That is not at all what God intended. And so instead of the push method, I would like to suggest a more biblical method, slightly less catchy, but definitely more scriptural. And that is the pugchma method. Not very catchy, I know, but it's definitely more in line with the heart of God. And that is to pray until God changes my heart. Pray until God changes my heart. And the most beautiful, powerful example of this we see in the life of Jesus on the night before he was killed, when he knew what was about to happen. He knew he was about to die a terrible, painful, shameful death, and more importantly, become the sins of all humanity. And he's praying to his Father, and he says, Father, I don't want to do this. If there's any way we could do this another way, let's do that. Let this cup pass from me. If there's another alternative, let's do it. And those prayers, that sounds like the prayers that I pray, sounds like the prayers that you pray. This is not what I want, God. This is what I want. Can we try it this way? You know, I pray all the time, God, please give favor and blessing to my children. May my grandchildren be healthy and happy and wise and find you early. Make us good servants. All these prayers that I want. But Jesus doesn't stop with the what I want prayers. He ends his prayer by saying, but Father, not my will, but your will. Not what I want, but what you want. This is how you open up the door to deep, unwavering faith in your life. To pray whatever it is you're going to pray. And then in your heart pray, God, I want all these things, but what I want most is what you want. I want to be in the center of your will. I want what you want for my children. I want what you want for my grandchildren. I want what you want for my life, because what you want is always better, and in fact, it's best. So help me to want what you want. If you ever feel like your prayers aren't working, just make a subtle change and just start praying, God, I want all these things. I don't know how you're going to answer, but what I want most is what you want, because what you want is always best. That's how you pray until God changes your heart. We're going to spend the rest of the week talking about how to be effective in your prayers. But for today, let's add that to our prayers. God, here's what I want. But what I want most is to want what you want, because what you want is best.